Hello everybody and welcome to today's website integration masterclass. We're going to take a look at how this free tool feeds into the overall NBS offering, or ecosystem as I prefer to call it, by putting up-to-date information in front of specifiers at every opportunity. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. All attendee microphones are muted, and if you have got any questions, please do drop these into the chat or the Q&A. We will follow these up after the webinar, and every question will get a response, so please do send these over. So your speakers for today are myself, Chris Vickers. I'm a Senior Technical Solutions Consultant at NBS. So I've been at the company for 10 years and I've worked with manufacturers in varying capacities, from creating digital objects to structuring product data. Previously I worked as an architectural technologist, so I've worked in digital construction for over 20 years now. Alongside me is my colleague Elliott McCurry, who is a Customer Success Manager at NBS. So Elliott has been with the company for over a year now, working closely with manufacturers on utilising their subscription with us, and by giving a full partner platform overview, as well as assisting manufacturers in the setup of website integration as part of that process. So the session will be split into two. Firstly, I will explore the difference between data and information and why does it matter. There is a key difference that everybody who supplies data needs to understand, so I'll touch upon this to give this whole webinar some foundation. We will then look at how the NBS portfolio or ecosystem uses data and the journey to get to the point of specification. And then handing over to Elliott, Elliott will give us a demo of the NBS Manufacturer Partner Platform and how website integration is managed. And then finally, you'll also show an example of where an NBS customer has implemented website integration. So without further ado, let's start off by talking about the key principles about information. I say the words data and information inter-exchange in conversation, and there is a clear distinction between the two. So this is the definition by the Government and Industry Interoperability Group, or the GIG, which NBS are part of, and it refers to changing data into something that has a defined purpose and has context. The two other definitions there from ISO 19650 and PAS 185, but there is a common theme, and that's the need for well-structured information according to its intended use. So data in its rawest form is essentially properties or attributes of a particular manufactured product, but without any context it can confuse, and what we don't really want to do is mislead in any way. So this is where NBS Source comes into play. The platform itself holds many data types such as testing certificates, case studies, literature. Every listing has images and in some instances digital objects. But it's the consistent structured data to Uniclass that makes data usable for the purposes of product selection and specification. So if we jump over to the NBS Source website for the benefit of people on the webinar who currently aren't customers, the whole idea of this website is you can find, select and specify a manufacturer's products really easily. Now, the find function is really intuitive to use. If I'm looking for a particular type of product, such as an entrance mat, as soon as I begin to type away, you can see based on these keywords, it's given me some suggested categories or product types there, but then it's also given me some specific manufacturer's products there as well. Equally, if I am looking for a specific manufacturer, as soon as I again type there, it's recognizing that Forbo keyword is a manufacturer in the website, in the platform, and it's actually filtered the products down according to that manufacturer. So let's start with the manufacturer's landing page to start with. So we start with a general overview, which is high-level contact information, and there's a nice graphic there that sits alongside that. And then there's a description about the company itself, and you can see these guys are a Ariba CPD provider as well. We've got the products tab, which I will come back to, and that's all the products that they've got listed in the portfolio. And then we've got third-party certificates, which have all been uploaded. We've got case studies, which can be linked back to individual products or multiple products. We've got a literature tab, which is product data sheets, catalogue, whatever it might be. And then a little bit about us is further contact information there. Now, if we concentrate on the products tab, this is where we've got a list of, as I say, all the products in the portfolio. And this particular manufacturer has begun to implement product ranges. So you can see we've got adhesive for primers, and we've got matting products listed there as well. So I could begin to filter down if I know what I'm looking for straight away by clicking these filters. You can see it's just then sort of filtered down results to 9 there. We then have additional filters there. So the range is an entrance mat, which is why the category is returned there. I can also filter by if I'm looking for a digital object, but I can also filter by higher level general information. So things like, for an entrance mat, things like colour might be quite useful to be able to filter down by. Or if I'm looking for particular environmental performance, material origin, country of product manufacturer, embodied carbon or recycled content, I can filter down via these options as well. Now, if I click on a particular product, what that will give me is information on its particular area of application. It'll give me a description, general information which are tied into the filters, and then before we get to the specification data, you can see that we're displaying both the uniclass classification and the cause classification there as well. So under specification data, this is all the structured information to uniclass, so dimensional information, thicknesses, heights, reaction to fire, etc. And because it's all consistent regardless of which particular manufacturer this is, i.e. how it's structured, it allows me to compare products. So if I select the first product there, and for the purpose of this I'll pick the other two across the top there. Because it's all consistent structured information, I can on screen there just review side by side the differences between these particular products, like so. And you can see because it's well structured and inconsistent, it allows me to do that. If I'm happy with a particular product, what I can do is click the Add to Spec button there. And what that's done is it's copied this product to my clipboard. And it's given me a little prompt there. Now I've copied it. All I need to do is jump over to NBS Chorus, which is our specification software. And under the entrance mat clause, I can click in here and I can paste in that particular product. So really intuitive website and sort of workflow to work through, and you can see there it's dropped in all that product information that was displayed on NBS Source, and that information is also duplicated there on the right hand side. So I can review things like the clause information. If there's any guidance information that sits alongside that, I can review that information there. You can see it's by default added all the default data in there, and any gaps in here are typically where we would see some selection choices, some options for the specifier to choose from. And once I hit save, that's then part of the written specification. So how is this all possible? The NBS ecosystem is an integral part in a specifier's processes and workflows. And I've referred to an ecosystem as the NBS portfolio needs to interact with suppliers' data in order to provide the information in a format as required. So when we look at how specifiers and designers find information, this can be performed via a basic web search and then filtering through the results. This obviously leads to clicks onto a manufacturer's website, or they can go directly there in the first place. But this data needs to be manually then copied and pasted into the specification. So this relies on the specifier interpreting the data in the first instance and then restructuring this into the specification outline clause structure in either uniclass or cause. The two disadvantages of doing so is, first of all, it's open for error, and that's purely down to the manual copy and pasting of data. But also, it's very time consuming in doing so. But working in a digital environment does offer us the opportunity to work smarter, and that's where interoperable data offers those streamlined processes. So again, this is taken from the gig. And we need data that is machine readable and can be exchanged across different platforms or softwares. So this is where the manufacturer partner platform comes into play, capturing all that raw data in one location, which is then structured by the NBS team, ready to be exchanged as required by the end user. So we have one central pot of data, and all this data is structured to uniclass, as we've mentioned previously, but also classified to cause. This information is then displayed on the NBS source platform, and as it is interoperable data, it can be used for the purposes of specification as well as digital objects. The caveat being on this scenario is only applicable to Tier 2 customers and above. So how does the website integration fit into this ecosystem? Well, website code is generated by NBS, which can be given to your own website team. This embeds NBS source information into your own website. So this becomes a live information feed, so any updates are pulled through to your own website. The need for copy and pasting data can be removed and replaced with an Add to Spec button. Analytics can now be provided for both specification and digital objects, regardless if this is via NBS Source, the NBS Revit plugin, or your own website. And as exposure is increased, it maximizes the chances of your products being added into the contract documentation. So once you're in the spec, once you're in the model, and once you're in the drawing outputs, it's then much harder to be substituted. So I will now hand over to Elliott to talk you through the manufacturer partner platform in more detail. Over to you, Elliott.
Hi, so my name's Elliott. I work in the customer success team for MBS. I've been with the company for just over a year now, working really closely with manufacturers on the partner platform and getting the most out of their subscription with us. So the idea of myself being involved today is just to run through a live demo of how the website integration actually works. So just to explain, first of all, if you do want to use this website integration function, you either need to be Tier 2 or higher as an NBS source contract, or you must have at least sort of a BIM hosting contract, so you can have your BIM object button on here as well. So this is the NBS partner platform for those of you who aren't aware. And basically where you would find the website integration will be on the left-hand side here under resources and the website integration here, which is the screen that I currently have open. So from here, you can see you've got the option of all products, individual products, product range, add to spec button, and download BIM object button as well. So I'm going to run through all of the options, what they do, what they look like, and how to actually integrate it as well. So if I just start with the all products as my first example, you can see on the left-hand side, it gives me a few options to change my format. And on the right-hand side, it gives you a preview of what you're actually going to be embedding into your website. So I chose the all products option there. So this is all the products that are available. So you can see it's a full list of products that can be integrated with the same tile view format as NBS source itself. And from here, a specifier could click into any of these products, open up the individual product page, and it would also give you that add to spec button. So what it means for the integration is that a specifier could go directly to your website, find this product using the integration tool, click that add to spec button, and you can see it says product copied. And all they need to do from there is go to NBS Chorus and paste it into their actual specification as well. So it's a really useful tool. So from there, that's obviously how the preview currently looks. But on the left-hand side here, you can change things like the tile color, background, and you'll see it'll make a change on the right-hand side. So you can format it all to suit your website. You can change the font, and every time you make a change, it'll change the code for you to copy. Once you've got it the right way that you want it, you can then copy the code and actually embed that in your website. And you can actually have a look up the top right-hand corner here. You can view the code and you can see what code it is that you would actually be embedding into your website. There is also a help article there. So if you click on how to embed, then it'll take you to an article and it'll show you go into a little bit more depth of how to actually do that. So just to give you an example of how all products preview actually looks on a live website, here's a manufacturer that's got it set up. So you can see from their homepage that I'm currently on now, they have a separate tab, which is NBS. If I click on that, it'll give you an introduction to them working with us and having their products listed with us. And then you can see exactly the same format. So this is a website integration of all the products they've got listed with us. So for a specifier, if there's any of these products they want to look into, they can click on it, open up that individual product's piece of information. And from there, if this is the product they want to add the spec, they can click add the spec, it'll copy the product, and they go to MBS Chorus and paste it straight over. So that's how it would look as a preview of all products and with the website integration. You've then got the next one, which is individual products. So if I click on that one next, you can see the previews went blank here, and that's because I need to choose a product for my preview. So if I click on select products, and I just choose the top one there, as and when that pulls through, it'll just give you that individual's product page. And again, you can format everything to suit your website on the left-hand side there. Once you're happy with it, copy the code and embed it within your website. And again, from this point, obviously, because it's only each individual product, it might be a case of you want to put it on each individual product's page on your website. And again, from there, it means to specify, I can easily click the add to spec button, copy and paste the product directly in. Just to give you an example of that again, if I go back to this website and I just click on their products by application and then wall acoustics, they've also set it up on a separate basis as well. So if I just click on the first product in here, it'll open up the page exactly with that integration. So it appears exactly the same as it does on MBS Source, all the product information provided. And if a specifier knows that this is the product they want to add to their specification, simply click the add to spec button. You can see it's copied the product, right click and paste it into their specification. So look, that's the first two ways. You've then got the next one, which is product range. So if you do have a product range already set up on MBS, then you can go through product range again and you can see the preview will be blank. And then this time it's a case of choosing a product range. So picking whichever range you wanted. So if I go to accessories, you can see there, it'll give you the full accessory range that they've got listed with us. And you can go through there and do it per range as well. So depending on whether you've actually got that set up, if you don't have product ranges set up, please feel free to contact your customer success specialist or your account manager, and we'll happily talk you through how to set up product ranges as well. Next up, we've got one of our newer features, which is the add to spec button. So if I click on this one, it's slightly different. You can see the preview is blank again. As soon as I choose a product this time, if I click on the first one, what it'll be is just that specific add to spec button. So if you didn't want to make sort of big changes to your website and you just wanted this add to spec button to appear on each individual product page, it's a case of copying the code, embedding the code just specifically for this add to spec button. And any MBS Chorus user will know what that does. From that point, they'll be able to click add to spec, it'll copy the product, and again, paste it over into their specification. So obviously, it would be a case of doing it on an individual product basis, but it's a really worthwhile tool having it in there. And then finally, we've got another new feature, which is download BIM object button. So if I click on this, similar to the add to spec button, preview will go blank again, choose a product, and then this time it'll be download the BIM object button, and it'll take you directly to that BIM object, and it'll download straight away for that particular BIM object. And again, for this one, the only sort of formatting is choosing the product and then choosing what color you want the button to actually be as well. And just remember, if you want to view the code, click in the top corner and you can view the code of each one. So that's the full run through of website integration. We've also got support and documents at the bottom here. So if I click on the help section and I go to support and articles, that'll open up a separate page with support and articles for anything on the partner platform. But in particular, you can see it's got 4 articles on the website integration itself. So anything you need to look through on here, you've got a few articles and you also got an overview video as well. So if you do need any assistance with it, feel free to come to these articles, or alternatively, please feel free to get in touch with your account manager or success manager, and they'll happily help you out with anything you need. And that's pretty much it from me. Thanks very much for your time. I'm sure we'll all speak soon.
Thank you very much, Elliot, for that. So just to summarize, for existing customers, please do reach out to your account or success manager for more information on anything you've seen today. For those of you who want to know more about what MBS can offer, you can drop us a call or email via the details on the screen there. Please also do pop a message in the chat with any specific queries you may have. We will respond to these individually. And finally, you can visit manufacturers.thembs.com to learn more about how the MBS portfolio can help put product information in front of key decision makers. Thank you all for your attendance. I do hope this has been a valuable insight. Thank you.